Alright, this is my deck tech of Tasigur, the Golden Fang. This is my cEDH list, and this is my personal favorite deck that I've ever made. So, for those of you who don't know, Tasigur, the Golden Fang, sorry for the glare. It's 5 and a black, delve, so each card you exile from your graveyard while casting the spell pays for 1 generic towards Tasigur. This includes his commander tax and all that. But it's a 4/5, and you can pay 2, and then a hybrid blue, hybrid green twice, and then put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, and then return a non-land card of an opponent's choice from your graveyard to your hand. So, Tasigur is more of like a political commander, where it's like if one player's going crazy, you can kind of be like, hey, you should totally give me this card so I can stop that. Or it's just pure value, and you hit 2 lands, and they have to give you like a vampiric tutor or something they really don't want to give you. So we'll get into the creatures first. Let's see. All right. First up, we got Windhorn Elves. Just a little mana dork. Obviously, just turn 1, accelerate your mana. Birds of Paradise. Another little mana dork trying to, accelerate, get stuff out there faster than everyone else. Deathrise Shaman, this card's very good. Exile lands from other players' graveyards, exile instant sorceries, creatures, whatever a problem is, you can. It's very versatile. You can stop graveyard decks. Anyone tries to loop strip mines into anything, any shenanigans in the graveyard, it's a pretty good card to shut that down. Next, we got Bloom Tender, very good for our deck. Adds a lot of mana. Lots of mana that you need. Just a all-around great freaking mana dork. Sorry, I just don't know if it's kind of blurry. We're figuring this out. It's the first video ever. All right. Next one we got is a Coiling Oracle. This card's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Basically, a little body for either card draw or ramp. So you get a little bit of everything with it. And it seems a little out of place, but you'll see towards the end of the creatures why things like this are in the deck. Next up, we've got Snapcaster Mage. Obviously, we're a very control-y, grindy deck, and we want to bring the game out, so Snapcaster is an obvious include for flashing back things, stop players, flashback anything we need utility-wise. Next up, we got Dark Confidant. So Dark Confidant's very good. Turn 2, Dark Confidant's helps us with the, win the race for resources, because at the end of the day, you don't really care about your life. You win the game at 40 life and at 1 life the same, so it really doesn't matter. We're just trying to get it as fast as we can with the Dark Confidant out, get all the stuff we need. Next, we got Scavenging Ooze, another kind of oddball in the deck, but it'll all make sense. Scavenging Ooze, you can eat cards from other graveyards. It'll grow, so it can turn into a problem, but it's mostly just to shut down other, graveyard-centric decks and all that jazz. See if I can fix this little camera. Maybe a little bit. It's a little better. So yeah. Scavenging Ooze, solid include. Alright, next we got Thieving Skydiver. Now, a lot of people don't understand how good this card is, and I'm trying to get people on the Skydiver wave, but so Thieving Skydiver is 1 and a blue for a 2/1 with kicker is X. So X can't be 0, but you may pay an additional X as you cast the spell. So it's a 2/1 flyer, which is also kind of relevant. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, gain control of an artifact with converted mana cost X or less. If the artifact is an equipment, attach it. So you can take people for 3 mana, you get a 2/1 body, take someone's Soul Ring, take their Mana Crypt, all the fast mana accelerators, and even if they kill Thieving Skydiver, you keep it no matter what. Like it stays yours. Like this card's very good, and I'm surprised a lot of people haven't caught on to it yet. Next card is one of our win cons. Thassa's Oracle. Obviously, cEDH. Thassa's Oracle is a very popular win condition. 2 blue for a 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top X cards, where X is your devotion to blue. Put one of them on top of your library, the rest on the bottom. If X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. So, you know, you want to try to, deck yourself, play Thassa's Oracle, deck yourself. 2 is greater than 0, you win the game. So now we're gonna go to 3-drops. So 3-drops, first up, we got Hull Breacher. So Hull Breacher is a very obvious include in our control kind of style deck. So 2 and a blue for a 3/2 flash. If an opponent were to draw a card, except for the first one they draw on their draw step, instead you create a treasure token. So if people try to wheel, or if they want to brainstorm or anything, you just flash it in. You kind of hose them because they spent mana to do whatever they're trying to do, and instead you get to draw a lot of treasure, or you get to create a lot of treasures and they draw nothing. So very good card. On the same spectrum, we got Opposition Agent. So this is 2 and a black flash. If your opponent were to search their library, no, you control your opponents while they're searching their library. So if they go to like crack a fetch land or Vampiric Tutor, instead you just flash this in and you get to look through their hand, look through their library, and then you get to play that card. Or you get to pick whatever you want, and then you get to play the card instead. Very, very oppressive, very good. Next up, we got Eternal Witness. This is to get cards back. Also, the creature type, or the fact that it's a creature is relevant. We'll get to that at the very end. There's a lot of other cards like Noxious Revival that you could use that are, well, I wouldn't say strictly better, but better in general. But the fact that this is also a creature is relevant. So 2/1 for 3. When it enters, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So very good. Next up is a card that'll eventually come out, but for my kind of meta, it's a nice beater for other control decks, to where if I can land this card, they have to deal with it, and otherwise they're on a very fast clock. Grave Titan. So it's a 6 for 6/6 Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, put 2/2 black zombie creatures on the battlefield. So, it's just a clock. Makes it to where I have other options if, for whatever reason, Thassa's Oracle doesn't work, or, anything like that. I can always take the beater section. Next up, we got Nezahal Primal Tide. This is an all-star in the deck, and I will explain why in a second. So for 7 for a 7/7, it cannot be countered. So it's going to stick no matter what. You have no maximum hand size, and whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, draw a card. So in cEDH, everyone's playing all these non-creature spells, artifacts, instants, sorceries, whatever. So you're going to be drawing a lot of cards off this card. And then on top of that, you can discard 3 cards, exile it, and return to the battlefield tapped under its controller's control at the beginning of the next end step. So it is a pain in the tush to get rid of this card. Like, you got 3 people trying to play it, and every time they're casting stuff, you draw cards. Or if you any sort of counterspell war, every time they play a counterspell, you're drawing a card. So at the end of the day, they're just going down in resources. You're going up, or you're staying the same. So very, very good. And now is one of the main win cons. We got Razaketh the Foul-Blooded. So 5 and triple black for an 8/8 flying trample. Pay 2 life, sacrifice another creature, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, and shuffle your library. So he allows us to, use all these like mana dorks and stuff, like Coiling Oracle, Birds of Paradise, any of these small little dorks. Like once he comes out, he turns them into, problems, right? So anything I need, I kill those, Grave Titan, 2/2s, any of these cards are just expendable at that point, Eternal Witness already done its job. I sack it, get problems I need, or just, assemble my win condition. So yeah, Razaketh is very, very good in this deck. And there's ways we can get him out, turn 2, turn 3, or like turn 3, turn 2, maybe with a very, very strong hand. But yeah, Razaketh is one of the main problems of the deck. If I land it, it's basically game. there's really no way you can stop it because they try to kill it. I sack a little dork and then counter it or whatever I need to do. So next up we'll go to sorceries. So first sorcery we got Ponder. Very typical standard. 1 blue. Look at the top 3. Put them back in any order. Draw a card, or you can shuffle your library if you don't like what you see. Next up, Jataxian Probe. So you can pay 2 life for a blue. Look at a player's hand, draw a card. This helps you get a little bit of information if you're trying to, combo off. You don't want to, get Angel's Graced or something. You can just look at it and figure out if right now is the right time to do what you want to do. Next up, we got Life and Death. I'm going to go ahead and leave this card here. There's going to be a lot that we're going to be talking about with Razaketh, so I'm going to leave him off to the side. So Life and Death is a card that essentially, when you play Razaketh, this is the first card you want to grab. So if you have a lot of mana, you play Razaketh, sacrifice a little dork, get Life and Death. You cast Life, the Life Path. I don't know if you can see with the glare, but Life says until 1 green, to the end of your turn, all lands you control are 1/1 creatures that are still lands. So essentially, you use your lands as sacrifice fodder to feed Razaketh, get whatever you need, combo off whatever you need. So tap the land for mana, sack it, get a card you need with the floating, play whatever you got to do just to win. So very solid card. A lot of people don't understand how it works when I'm, playing it, and they don't understand what's going on. So very good and underrated. Next, we got Life from the Loam. So Life from the Loam, 1 and a green. Return up to 3 target cards from your graveyard to your hand with Dredge 3. Very good. Lets me, get lands back that I, use Tasker's ability off of that I otherwise wouldn't be able to get. Also, we can loop our own little strip mine if, it comes down to that. Next, we got Demonic Tutor, obvious include for any cEDH deck running black. Very good. Let you get whatever you need. Little spicy card. We got Praetor's Grasp. So we got 1 and 2 black. Search target opponent's library for a card, exile face down. Then that player shuffles his or her library. You may look at and play that card for as long as it remains exiled. So, this helps us, if we have like half the combo with Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, we grab a player who's also doing that, grab their copy. We don't have to tutor anymore. We can tutor for other things, or we could look for, like Angel's Grace, stop that from happening so we don't die from us trying to go off or whatever we need. But very versatile card. And very very spicy. Every time I've played it, everyone's like, what the hell is that? And it's very good. Next we got Eldritch Evolution. This is a powerhouse in this deck. Turn 2, drop Tasigur. Turn 3, Eldritch Evolution, grab Razaketh with like some mana dork, sack a mana dork, make all your lands little creatures, and then sacrifice them all. Play Demonic Consultation with Thassa's Oracle, win the game. Eldritch Evolution is a very, very solid card, and I don't know why I cannot get this to focus. There we go. Kinda, a little bit. Eldritch Evolution is very, very good. Next we got Toxic Deluge. Lets us, wipe the board. Everyone's going a little crazy or someone's got a problem, just get rid of everything. Next we got Windfall. So 2 and a blue. Each player discards their hand, draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. We run out of gas, we just refill our hand, or if we have a Narset out, we're the only one drawing 7 or however much it is, and everyone else is stuck with 1, or, yeah. And lastly, we got Seasons Past. We are a grinding control deck. Usually whenever I am using Tasker's ability over and over, there's cards that I'm going to want back, and then, usually when I resolve a Season's Pass, it's game over. Like, there's nothing they can do. It's just too much value for what I've got. So, Season's Pass, also a very good card. Now we're going to go to this instance. So, first up, we got Brainstorm, Commander Staple, draw 3, put 2 cards back from your hand on top. Reclaim, this is supposed to be a Noxious Revival. Don't have one yet, but does the same thing, but you can't pay life. Put target card from your graveyard on top of your library. Very good. We got some control now. So Spell Pierce. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2. Demonic Consultation, this is one of our main win cons. 1 black, name a card. So you just name a card that's not in your deck. Exile all the cards from your deck until you hit one that you hit the card's name you chose, and you can't, then you play, or you have Thassa's Oracle on the stack, and then you win. Stubborn Denial, very, very good with Tasigur. He meets the Ferocious threshold, so it's just pay 1 to counter target non-creature spell. Vampiric Tutor lets you get anything you need instant speed. Very good. Swan Song, counter target enchantment, instant, or sorcery. Its controller gets a 2/2 bird, so also very, very good card. Dark Ritual, this lets us get Tasker out earlier, or ramp up to get whatever we need out, like turn 2, Grave Titan, if we're really trying to go that route, or whatever. Very good card. Nature's Claim, for 1 green, destroy an artifact or an enchantment. Its controller gains 4 life. We don't really care about life totals. We're just trying to win with that Oracle, Demonic Consultation, or we just beat them down, and 4 life at the end of the day is nothing. Dispel, 1 blue, counter target instant spell. Very good. Veil of Summer. This card is insane. 1 green, draw a card if they cast a blue or black spell this turn. Spells you control and permanents you control can't be countered or the targets of spells or abilities that are blue or black. We play this before we try to combo off, make them have to counter this, so we kind of bait it out, and if they don't, take the bait, we just win. Just play it first, and then you just win. Next up, we got Abrupt Decay. Can't be countered, destroy target non-land permanent, 3 or less. Convert mana cost 3 or less, so, solves any problems we're having with anything that's pain in our tush. Next, we got Mana Drain, double blue, counter target spell at the beginning of your next main phase. Add, any number of generic that's equal to its converted mana cost. Very good card. Cyclonic Rift. So you can return a non-land permanent back to its owner's hand, pay 7 to overload it. Everything that's not yours bounces back. And this is another card that we can dredge things away and keep looping with Tasigur, hopefully. Very good. Counterspell. Everyone knows counterspell, just counterspell. Reality Shift. 1 in a blue, exile target creature. Its control manifests at the top. Anyone's having a problem, if we're having a problem with anything, we just exile it. Doesn't matter if it's indestructible, whatever. You just get rid of it. They manifest the top. And, at the end of the day, we don't really care. Assassin's Trophy gets rid of literally anything we want. Destroy whatever permanents, causing problems, and they get a land. So, you don't really care. Next, we got Arcane Denial. So you can counter a spell. Its controller draws 2 cards at the beginning of the next, and you draw 1 at the next upkeep. A lot of people look at this card and think, wow, they're drawing 2 cards. But, I mean, you really want to counter things that are either going to stop you from winning or make them win. Because at the end of the day, it's like, instead of them winning, they're drawing 2, and this is replacing itself. So it's a lot better than people want to, give it credit for. Next up, we got Beast Within, another thing, just destroy permanent. They get a 3/3 beast. Anything pain in our butt, we get rid of it. Force of Negation, very good. Force of Will's little brother. If it's not your turn, you can exile a card from your hand that's blue. Counter target non-creature spell. If it's exiled, if it's countered, exile it. Very good. Also, the exiling clause is relevant, so they can't flash back anything. Force of Vigor. This card's insane. If it's not your turn, exile a green card from your hand rather than paying its mana cost. Store up to 2 artifacts and or enchantments. This card is very, very strong. Ad nauseum. This lets us dig through our deck to try to, either get more resources or find the card we need to win. Very, very good. Lastly, in the instant department, we got Misdirection. This lets us, if someone's trying to target one of our things, we're like, no, you can target something different. Next up, we got enchantments. So first enchantment is Carpet of Flowers. During your main phase, you may pay. Carpet of Flowers is very good. Someone's playing mono blue, it's pretty much, it's chalked at that point for them. You just outvalue everyone. They have to get rid of it. Next, we got Mystic Remora. Cumulative upkeep of 1. If they're not playing, no one's going to ever really pay for the Mystic Remora. If you play anything that's not a creature, you got to pay 4, otherwise you draw a card. It's very good. Animate Dead lets us reanimate our own stuff if we mill it with Tasigur or someone else's. That's, good. A good target. Next, we got Sylvan Library. Obvious include for green. Very good. Draw all the cards, lose life. You don't really care. Heuristic Study, very, very good. Whenever opponent plays a spell, you gotta be like, you're gonna pay 1 for that. And, it's kind of annoying, but you outvalue everyone. Lastly, we got Necropotence. Very, very good card. Just pay like 15, 20 life, draw 15, 20 cards, and usually that's enough to win the game. Next, we got our Planeswalkers. So first up, we got Oko. Oko banned in many formats for a great reason. He is absolutely insane. Any commanders that are trying to, do anything crazy, I'll turn it to an elk. Any problematic creatures, it's an elk. Any artifacts, they're elks now. Very, very, very good on offense and defense. I don't have anything, I can just make a little food token, start creating elks if I really need to, but usually you're going to be using the offensive side where you turn their creatures and artifacts into elks. Next, we got Ashiok. She's mostly in here for the... actually, she's in there for both. Spells and abilities your opponents control cannot cause them to search their library, so no one can fetch, no one can tutor. Very oppressive card for cEDH. Target player puts the top -1. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into the graveyard. Then each opponent exiles all cards in their graveyard. Very good for any graveyard-based decks. Hoses them down. Can't do anything. She resolves. It's very good for us. Next, we got Narset, Parter Veils. She's mostly in here for the static effect. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. So if we windfall with her out, it's basically game over if it sticks. Next, we got Teferi, Master of Time. He is a new include, and I am so glad I have. I have taken so many extra turns with this card. He is absolutely insane. You loot on everyone's turn. -3 if someone's got something crazy. Phase it out till their next turn. And if you get to 10, you take 2 extra turns after that one. So very, very, very strong card. Next, we got Artifacts. We got Soul Ring, obvious include. Arcane Signet, obvious include. Talisman of Resilience, adds green or black, deals with damage, or generic. Simic Signet, and we got Talisman of Curiosity. So that's what we're rocking main deck wise. Now we got the lands. So I run 3 basic lands. So these are my own little custom ones I've painted, little cereal bowls, because those things look like cereal bowls to me. So 3 islands. 3 forests. I just love that art as well. 2 swamps. We run Herborg. I mean, 1 Herborg. I mean, you can't run more than 1, so yeah. We run all 3 of the shocks for Sultai. So we got Watergrave, Breeding Pool, and Overgrown Tomb. Run Mana Confluence. Hurts us, but it's well worth it. Don't care about your life. Cavern of Souls lets us ensure that we, get that Thassa's Oracle down or Razaketh or whatever we need. Zagoth Triome helps us, turn 1 fetch if we got nothing else to do. Grab that, taps for anything. We got Command Tower, very good. Clearwater Pathway, another very, very versatile card. Fabled Passage, kind of sucks early, but later on, we don't really care. Next up, we got Polluted Delta. Blue-black fetch. Flooded Strand, very good. Misty Rainforest. And then we have a Prismatic Vista. All of these help us search for whatever we need. Next up, we got the Painlands. So we got Yavimaya Coast, very good. You don't care about your life. Underground River, don't care about your life. Llanowar Waste, don't care about your life, very good. Next, we got Field of Ruin. Destroy a land that's a problem. Alchemist Refuge lets us win instant speed, or at least threaten to win instant speeds. Very good. Next, we got the Commander lands. So enters. These are essentially, the reserve list cards that you can't tutor for them, but if they're in your hand, they just come out tapped no matter what. Then we got Nurturing Peatland. These are pain lands that also let you draw. Very good. Waterlogged Grove. They have 1 fast land, which is Botanical Sanctum. We got Hinterland Harbor for the check land, Woodland Cemetery for the check land, and we got a Choked Estuary as our last land. So overall, this is one of my favorite. This is my favorite deck I've ever made. My win percentage with this deck is very, very good. It's so versatile, and a turn 3 Razaketh's very hard to deal with, or turn 3 Nezahal. You just kind of gauge your table and see what the best play is. But overall, I absolutely love this deck. And it is by far my favorite deck I've ever made. So yeah, that's my Tasigur cEDH deck list.